Welcome to the April 2026 What's New video, highlighting the latest Gio AI Assistant features in the Data Integrity Suite. Let's dive into the first feature that provides the capability to configure AI agents. With this capability, you can configure agents within the configuration section in the Data Integrity Suite, which can be further used across multiple services. The agent named Gio AI Assistant acts as a conversational co-pilot, facilitating natural language interactions for cross-module operations, enhancing your ability to interact with data more naturally and efficiently. To configure Gio AI Assistant, let's start by heading over to the main navigation menu. Click on Configuration, then choose AI. Inside the Features tab, look for the Gio AI Assistant card and click Configure. Now, select the LLM connection you want to use with this feature. If you haven't added any LLM connections to your workspace yet, just click the plus icon next to the dropdown to set up a new LLM connection. Next, pick one or more large language model family. You can choose the one that fits best from each family, but you can always manually select a different LLM connection or switch to another large language model family if you want. A model family is basically a group of related LLMs built on the same foundation, which helps your organization keep its AI capabilities up to date and flexible. And remember, you can link multiple families to the agent if needed. Once you've set everything up, click Test to make sure your configuration works as expected. If the test is successful, flip the Enable toggle to activate the feature. And finally, don't forget to click Save. That's it. After enabling the Gio AI Assistant feature, your configured agent modules are ready to be used across multiple services through Gio AI Assistant in the Data Integrity Suite. Another exciting update is focused on the feature that transforms how you manage your data governance. Effective data governance requires identifying and managing two critical categories of data. First, there are critical data elements, or CDEs, which are fields with high regulatory, operational, or analytical importance. Second, there is personally identifiable information, or PII, which is any data that can identify an individual. Manually identifying and classifying these fields across your entire data landscape is time-consuming and error-prone. With Gio AI Assistant, you can quickly identify, validate, and classify these fields to ensure compliance, maintain data quality, and implement governance policies. Here's how it works. Navigate to your catalog and select either datasets or fields. Click on a dataset or field card to open it. Then open the Gio AI Assistant conversation interface. Ask the assistant to classify your asset using natural language prompts. The Gio AI Assistant may perform validation checks to ensure the classification is appropriate. If the classification does not meet standard criteria, the assistant will ask for your confirmation. Once you approve, the Gio AI Assistant requests your final confirmation before making changes to your catalog. Review the details and approve the update. The system verifies that the update was successful and confirms that the asset has been updated. Your catalog is now updated with the new CDE or PII classification. Now, let's take a look at another feature that establishes common vocabulary across your organization. This feature focuses on creating business terms with Gio AI Assistant. Business terms typically represent critical data in your organization. Creating a glossary of business terms helps establish a common vocabulary, enables governance, and relates technical assets to business concepts. When working with a new workspace without business or technical assets, Gio AI Assistant can quickly populate your catalog with critical business terms and definitions. The Gio AI Assistant suggests typical critical business terms for your domain and helps you create them. Here's how to get started. Navigate to Governance, then Business Assets, and select the business terms asset type. Open the Gio AI Assistant conversation interface. Determine the primary business domain for your workspace and ask for typical critical business terms in your domain. Use natural language prompts such as, "What are typical CDEs in the finance domain?" Or "What critical business terms should I define for healthcare data?" Or suggest critical business terms for my customer data domain. The Gio AI Assistant generates up to 25 recommended business terms for your domain, along with brief descriptions of each term. Each query returns a maximum of 25 recommendations. To retrieve additional recommendations, simply submit the same query. If a term already exists, Gio AI Assistant identifies it instead of duplicating it. You can customize the list if needed by asking follow-up questions. Once you have refined your list, ask the Gio AI Assistant to add the business terms, review the list of terms to be created, and approve the action. The Gio AI Assistant adds these terms to your catalog as business glossary entries. Duplicate names are prevented automatically, so you can focus on building a clean, comprehensive glossary. Your catalog now contains a glossary of critical business terms for your domain. Now, let's take a look at another feature that transforms how you create data quality rules. Meet Gio AI Assistant's rule creation capability. Traditionally, building data quality rules requires deep technical knowledge and manual effort. But what if you could simply describe what you want to validate and let AI do the heavy lifting? That's exactly what Gio AI Assistant delivers. Instead of writing complex expressions from scratch, you can now use plain English to request data quality rules. For example, imagine you have a dataset with customer phone numbers from across the United States. You want to ensure they all follow the standard format. Rather than manually crafting a rule, you simply ask Gio AI Assistant, create a rule to verify if the phone numbers follow the standard format. Gio AI Assistant analyzes your request, understands your data context, and recommends relevant rules in seconds. When you submit a query, Gio AI Assistant doesn't just generate one option. It provides up to 3 rule recommendations tailored to your specific asset and industry best practices. Each recommendation includes critical details: the rule name, a confidence score showing how relevant it is to your query, the expression that will evaluate your data, and a reasoning description explaining why this rule was suggested. Gio AI Assistant also performs similarity searches to check if similar rules already exist in your repository. This prevents duplicate rules and keeps your governance clean and consistent. If a rule is brand new, it gets a new tag, so you know exactly what's fresh. The beauty of this feature is its flexibility. You can access Gio AI Assistant's rule creation from 4 different places, depending on where you're working. Start from the Datasets page when you want rules for an entire dataset. Navigate to the Fields page when you need rules for specific fields within your data. Use the Rules page within Datasets or Fields for more targeted recommendations. Or go directly to the Data Quality Rules page in the Quality section when you're building rules from scratch. No matter where you start, the workflow is intuitive and consistent. Let's walk through a practical example. First, navigate to Catalog and select Datasets from the main menu. Choose the dataset you need rule recommendations for. A side panel opens showing your dataset details. Now, launch Gio AI Assistant. You'll see a list of recommended rules tailored to your dataset. You can select one of these recommendations, or type your own custom query in the chat window. Gio AI Assistant analyzes your dataset and suggests up to 3 rules based on its structure, fields, and semantic types. Review each recommendation carefully. Each rule shows its confidence score, the expression it will use, and why it's relevant to your data. If you see rules you want to use, select them and click Apply Rules. Gio AI Assistant immediately adds them to your application's rule repository. If the suggestions don't meet your needs, simply click Reject and try a different query. Similarly, you can create rules from the Fields page or from the rules within Quality using Gio AI Assistant. If a rule is close but not quite right, modify the expression to match your exact requirements. This gives you the speed of AI-powered suggestions with the control you need for precision. Once you're satisfied with a rule, apply it to your repository. Gio AI Assistant ensures it's added consistently across your data assets. Whether you're working with datasets, fields, or building rules from scratch, Gio AI Assistant is there to accelerate your data quality efforts. Try it today and experience how AI-powered rule creation transforms your workflow. Now, let's take a look at another feature that transforms how you handle data inconsistencies. The Standardize and Normalization agent, powered by Gio, brings intelligent automation to one of data quality's most critical challenges. Data rarely arrives in perfect condition. You might have a country field with values like US, USA, and United States, all meaning the same thing, but stored differently. Or dates formatted as the 15th of January, 2024, the 15th of January, 2024, and January 15th, 2024. These variations create downstream problems in matching, enrichment, and analysis. Traditionally, you would manually create transformation rules for each variation. Now, Gio does this intelligently for you. Let me show you how it works. Here in the pipeline, I have my input dataset configured. When I click the Gio button, I see three powerful options: normalize fields, standardize fields, and enrich spatial data. Let's start with the normalization scenario. Imagine I have an age field with values ranging from 5 to 95. I want to group these into meaningful age brackets. I can simply tell Gio, normalize age. Gio scans the column and understands the data type, in this case integers. It then provides intelligent recommendations based on what it finds. For age, it might suggest creating age groups in decades. I can accept this recommendation, and Gio creates a custom coding step that applies this transformation. Here's what's important. Because Gio uses custom coding as a fallback, it can handle virtually any transformation you need. It's not limited to predefined operators. If I ask it to create age groups, it generates the code to do exactly that. And it adds this step to the end of my pipeline, which I can reorder if needed. Now, here's something interesting about working with an LLM-based agent. If I ask Gio the same question again, it might provide slightly different recommendations. This is the nature of large language models. They generate varied responses. So you might get age brackets like 0 to 18, 19 to 40, 41 to 65, and 65 plus. Both are valid. You choose which approach fits your business logic best. That's scenario 1. You know what you want to normalize, and Gio helps you do it intelligently. But there's a second, more powerful scenario. What if you don't know which fields need standardization? You can ask Gio to scan your entire dataset and tell you what it finds. I'll ask, which fields should I standardize? Gio analyzes the data and identifies 3 fields that would benefit from standardization: country, first name, and date of birth. It recognizes that these fields have variations that should be normalized into consistent formats. I accept these recommendations, and Gio generates 3 standardization steps, 1 for each field. Let me walk you through what happens next. For the first name field, Gio applies a standardization rule that converts nicknames to formal first names. So if someone entered Bob, it becomes Robert. If they entered Bill, it becomes William. This ensures consistency across your dataset. For the country field, Gio standardizes country names and codes into a single, consistent format. For the date of birth field, Gio recognizes multiple date formats in your data. It converts all variations or spelled-out formats into a single standardized format. Now you might notice that Gio applies a default condition to each step. It checks if the field is not null before applying the transformation. This is a safety mechanism to ensure you don't accidentally transform empty values. Once you're satisfied with the recommendations, you can apply them all at once. Gio adds each standardization step to your pipeline. You can see the transformations in action. First names are standardized, dates are converted to a consistent format, and country values are normalized. If you want to adjust any of these recommendations, you have full control. You can modify the standardization rules, change the output format, or even copy and paste alternative formats if you prefer a different approach. The beauty of this agent-driven approach is that it combines automation with flexibility. You get intelligent recommendations based on your actual data, but you maintain complete control over the final transformations. This means faster pipeline development, fewer manual rules to write, and more consistent data quality outcomes. The standardize and normalization agent represents a significant shift in how data quality work gets done. Instead of spending hours writing transformation logic, you describe what you want, and Gio handles the heavy lifting. Your data becomes cleaner, more consistent, and ready for downstream processes like matching, enrichment, and analysis. This is the power of agentic AI in data quality. Let Gio do the thinking and focus on your business outcomes. Finally, let's take a look at another feature that streamlines how you build data pipelines. The Data Integration Replication Agent is a conversational AI tool that helps you create replication pipelines faster and with less manual configuration. Let's walk through how it works. We start at the pipeline replication window in the main interface. This is where the agent listens to your requirements and builds a pipeline for you. The agent provides a template prompt to get you started. You can use this template as a starting point, or you can customize it for your specific use case. For this example, we'll say, replicate my source MySQL to target BigQuery. This simple statement tells the agent exactly what you need. The agent processes your request and begins building the pipeline configuration. First, select the project where you want to create the pipeline. If your project isn't listed, you can create a new one. Next, select the source and target for the pipeline you want to create. For this example, it will be MySQL to BigQuery. But here's where it gets more powerful. The agent doesn't just accept your first request and stop. It's designed to be conversational and exploratory. If you're not entirely sure which tables or schemas you need, you can ask the agent to show you what's available. The agent will display the available tables, allowing you to explore your data catalog before committing to a replication strategy. This exploratory capability is especially useful when you're working with unfamiliar data sources or large complex schemas. Once you've explored and identified what you need, you can refine your request. The agent understands these natural language instructions and applies them to your pipeline configuration. The interface also provides visual feedback through checkboxes and selection controls. When you first interact with the agent, these checkboxes appear, allowing you to verify and confirm your selections before the pipeline is created. This validation step is critical because it ensures you're replicating exactly what you intend to replicate. Nothing more and nothing less. The agent is intelligent about pattern matching. If you specify a naming convention, it will identify tables that match your criteria. One of the key benefits of this conversational approach is flexibility. You're not locked into a single path or workflow. You can start by exploring your data catalog, asking questions about table ownership, profiling information, or other metabase data. The agent maintains context throughout the conversation, making the entire process feel natural and intuitive. Instead of clicking through multiple dialogues and forms, you describe your intent, and the agent handles the heavy lifting. The Data Integration Replication Agent represents a shift toward more intelligent conversational data integration tools. After you finish interacting with the agent, it will create a replication pipeline for you that you can choose to view once completed. The agent provides a solid foundation for faster, more intuitive pipeline creation. With this, we have covered all the new enhancements in the Data Integrity Suite related to Gio AI Assistant. To access comprehensive documentation, visit our Help Center at help.cloud.precisely.com. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.